I've just built an AI system that solves a $2.3 billion problem. Enterprise companies with complex service portfolios that cannot systematically match their capabilities to the prospect needs. What you're looking at is how we eliminated guesswork from a Fortune 500 company's sales process cycle. Hi, I'm Aryan, and we've deployed intelligent service matching systems for enterprise companies struggling with 200 plus SKUs catalogs, where even sales engineers, their most senior of departments, couldn't confidently recommend optimal solutions for their prospects and clients. Where this system, what this does is it processes 47 data points per prospect and generates strategic recommendations that actually close deals. How the system works on a high level is that you input your target criteria, ICP parameters, industry verticals, job profiles, revenue thresholds, geographical constraints, and then the system integrates with Apollo to generate qualified lead lists that match your exact expectations and specifications. Then comes the intelligence layer, where we deploy Perplexity AI to conduct deep psychographic analysis on each prospect, not just firmographic, but operational challenges, strategic initiatives, technology stack, regulatory requirements, competitive pressures, where the system then applies business context profiles, your service capabilities, your pricing models, your implementation requirements, ICP characteristics, and runs intelligent matching algorithms to generate specific solution recommendations with strategic rationale that maps directly to business needs. Here's the operational reality destroying enterprise sales cycles and performance right now. Your sales organization is burning millions of dollars annually on misaligned prospects targeting because your reps cannot systematically match your service capability to the buyer's specific requirements. And your competitors are not just using better prospecting tools. They're using autonomous intelligence systems that classify prospects by business models, technology stacks, regulatory environments, and buying stages. Then generate specific solution architectures that map directly to revenue outcomes. And how do I know that? Because we're the people deploying these exact solutions for businesses, and we're seeing on the front lines how incredibly effective they can be. So before we get into it, if you want the exact AI frameworks I use to manage enterprise implementations and create systems that generate tangible and measurable ROI, there's a link below to subscribe to my newsletter. I share operational insights that are honestly too sophisticated and powerful to be shared on the YouTube channel. But let's get back to the system. So you can skip to the minute below if you want to see exactly how the N8N Airtable base work together in congruency. I really want to emphasize that the difference between enterprises closing 23% of qualified leads and opportunities versus enterprises stuck at 5%, 6%, 7%. It isn't better sales, training, or CRM hygiene. It is systematic competitive intelligence. Because this system on a high level, guys, it doesn't just research prospects. It analyzes their operational constraints, regulatory requirements, technology integration needs, strategic initiatives to generate solutions that align with their actual business and decision criteria. And I'm going to show you a live example of the exact system that we have deployed for one of our clients, where you can see it is incredibly sophisticated and something that is simply impossible for a human eye to do, simply due to the depth of research required, the sophistication of deep expertise knowledge, and then having the knowledge of your own products on the back end, where you have 100, 200. We've worked with technology or SaaS companies who have hundreds of different offerings, API calls, tech stacks that they can offer, but they have absolutely no clue which one to actually offer to their prospects. Most enterprise sales organizations think that prospect intelligence means checking Salesforce and reviewing their website. But in reality, this system analyzes the manufacturing capabilities, partnership structures, funding stages, right? Something so simple yet so crucial. Competitive positioning and regulatory compliance requirements. The deep operational context that actually determines solution fit to your product. And guys, what better fit to do it than AI itself? AI, when provided with the right information in the right format, JSON context profiles, along with injected information about your your product, your offering, then the prospect's offering, the latest news about the industry, which you're going to see. We've been seeing a hit rate or a confidence score of at least a 90% for every single record or every single prospect in the list. So every quarter, while your organization is manually prospecting and qualifying prospects, guessing solution fits, your competitors with sophisticated technologies and systems such as these are systematically identifying high probability opportunities and presenting solutions that map directly to strategic business outcomes. So, enough rambling, let me show you how exactly this operates at an enterprise scale, where we analyze a complex prospect, classifying their operational requirements and generating solution recommendations that drive predictable revenue outcomes. So guys, what you're taking a look at is the exact end-to-end workflow, and I'm going to go over it very comprehensively on a high level about how we go from data acquisition flow, which is essentially the entry of the exact prospects, the profile we want to be getting and reaching out to, where we flow into the processing loop, which is essentially just contact validation and deduplication to ensure data hygiene from the CRM, where we finally go into company intelligence, where this is really, I would say, where the magic happens, right? And this is really unlimited to one's imagination what you can do over here. With just two tools, with being ChatGPT and Perplexity, you can do some really ridiculously cool things. So before I get into that, this is an example of what the CRM would look like, right? We have the name of different companies. We have the description. So here we have the typical information we would be getting, right? We get the description, we would get the industry, the company size, LinkedIn URL, the website. We would get the number of employees, blah, blah, blah. But now, this is where it gets really interesting. First, we can get if they've been funded or not. Because in this instance, this specific client wanted to create different campaigns based on whether they've been funded in the last 12 months as opposed to whether they have not been funded in the last 12 months. Because then they can perhaps go a little bit more aggressive with the offering. Because we obviously, if we know that they've been funded, they have more money to spend, right? Then we have US territory classification. So this is also something really interesting that probably only enterprise companies will understand. But as you guys know, you have different sales reps or account executives or BDs basically around the different areas of the country or maybe even around the world. And you know that the moment you make contact with them in the sales cycle, right, one of these account executives, they're more or less going to be the person who's going to be with them all the way till the end of the sales cycle. And most of these account executives in bigger companies are assigned to localities or regions. So that is why, based on the specific US territory classification, we're going to have different signatures and match it with different email sending addresses as well. Super small, but it is nuanced, and this ensures that we still are not overcomplicating things, but we're also almost, adjusting the platform into the clients or the business's SOPs and their way of working. Then what we have is we have the modalities, guys. So this is a biotech industry or a biotechnology company that has a ridiculously complex product catalog and a ridiculously complex logical understanding of what product catalog to actually, or what product to actually recommend to which company. So as you can see, these are all different primary modalities. And then we have a different permutation and combinations of secondary modalities, guys, as we can see over here. And this is all really sophisticated research that is done by Perplexity, something that is just completely oblivious to the human eye. And I was going to show you the exact prompts in the systems, and it is going to be in the description anyways, the system, so you can download it. And then we have a confidence score, as we can see. And finally, we have a product recommendation where we have a lot of different complex products, as we can see over here. And then we have a confidence score, as we can see over here. And finally, we have a product recommendation. And the product recommendation is actually a super prompt that is the final step of the workflow, which is actually done using manufacturing signals. As we can see, we have company research. So this is an example, guys, of the company research. If we open it, we can see what is the therapeutic focus. What is the primary modality, right? The primary therapeutic modality is protein-based biologics, particularly antibodies discovered and optimized using the proprietary something experimental platform. As you can see, the development stage. What stage of the company? So this is all biotechnology lingo and terminology, something that I have absolutely no expertise in. But I think on a high level, we can understand that if they're in clinical research phase 3 as opposed to preclinical research, the cadence of the campaign we're making, it changes, it differs. And this allows us to be hyper specific with our prospecting and cold outreach as well. We have the company type, we have manufacturing signals, and we have the confidence score. And finally, guys, if we close this, we have a product recommendation rationalization. This is incredibly useful on so many levels, because now this is not just giving us confidence that the system is working appropriately, but even the sales reps now can take a look at the system. And let's say, they're in part of the sales cycle, the third call, the fourth call. We know enterprise sales cycles are incredibly long at times. And now they can refer to this information. And this is a clean justification. We have hyper mega prompts on the back end functioning all of this. I've even shared this, I think, a couple of months ago on LinkedIn. But now I'm going to get into the exact end-to-end workflow. And we've actually created a sample data set over here, a table, where you can take a look at this. So the workflow is actually catered to this one, where obviously we couldn't include the specific product recommendations. If we take a look, this is how the system starts, right? We have search parameters, and we simply launch the Apollo scraper, where we're calling the API, as we can see over here, where we're monitoring the scrape status. And once it is done, once we know that the check completion, it is true, what we do is we extract the dataset ID and we fetch the raw data from the exact scraper. As we can see, we're using Apify in this case, guys, obviously, because from an economics point of view, it always makes sense, right? I would always recommend you to use Apify as well. It is super straightforward as to which one it is. If we go into Apify, you can always go to the console, and the exact actor you want to be using is, okay, looks like we reached our limit. Not a good look, but if we come over here, we can see that this one, you want to be using the Apollo scraper, scrape up to 50,000 leads. It is incredibly dirt cheap and way cheaper in terms of pure economics when you compare it to having a manual Apollo subscription. What we do after that, guys, is we simply limit the records by 200 to ensure that the system does not crash. Then we process each item, and this is all just data processing. You can take a look at it, where essentially we're processing each contact with looping through it. We put a slight delay of 3 seconds, as we can see. So yeah, guys, what we do then is we're checking if the contact already exists, and we do the same along these lines. As we can see, we check if the company exists, we check the company status, where we're using a little bit of code to see the length of the output returned. Where what we do in the case is, let's say that it is a completely new contact, right? It is a new company. So one thing I want to emphasize is that all the research is done on a company level. We can get this to an individual level as well, but we have seen, simply for the purpose of the system, is that in terms of product recommendations, service matching systems and whatnot, it is best to do it with a company level portfolio or company level overview rather than individual level overview. And that actually caters a lot more to these enterprise sales cycles, because they do not care too much about personalization. It does matter, but just saying like, oh, I saw a Facebook post, and having the typical generic AI personalization on individual level, it doesn't really move the needle, because these guys are serious people and they want to work with people who can provide products that actually meet their needs and requirements. So what we do over here, guys, is we're using the Perplexity API, and as you can see, you can enter your API key over here if you want to use it as well, where you can see we have a pretty sophisticated prompt where your senior biotech pharmaceutical industry analyst conducting deep research on companies operating in the United States and Canada for strategic partnership evaluation. Your job is to analyze companies and extract critical business intelligence. And what we're looking for, as you can see, guys, is we're specifically looking for if the company is funded or if they're not funded. So what we do is we even guide it on how to be doing the research, right? We're telling it, look for investor relation pages, SEC filings, scientific publications if available. We need to guide the AI really. It is almost like clay.com, if any of you have used clay.com, where you need to be guiding the clay agent also about how to conduct the research. If you just tell the AI that, just do this, just, understand if the company, for instance, is, funded, yes or no. It's a really simple question. I probably can just Google query that thing and get it. However, when you have more sophisticated pieces of information you want to be getting, you need to be a lot more dialed in, I would say. And as you can see, guys, we're entering simply a context profile in JSON format of all the meta information about the company. We're simply dumping it from Apollo. And what we do then is we structure the research data. So now this is just something we like to do, and that is simply to parse the biotech research analysis and convert it into a JSON format, where we can then just simply output it as JSON, as we can see. And you can take a look at the prompt. It is really straightforward, but what we have is we're breaking it up by, so what we're doing, guys, is it's just a prompt chain on a high level. We're just taking all the information from Perplexity and Apollo. So we have Apollo's information, we enrich that information with Perplexity, and then we put it into GPT for the logical structuring of the information, where we have a company description, the size, from startup, small, large to the mid to large biotech. We have the therapeutic focus, the primary modality, development stage, company type, the manufacturing indicators, and the confidence level, something really critical as well. Because if you have, let's say, any pieces of data or any contacts below a confidence score of 80, 70, you can simply filter them out of Airtable and not outreach to them. Depends on what your threshold for that criteria is. But that is also something that is incredibly important in my opinion. And another thing is that this is simply, guys, this is all data really valuable information that is then fed into the AI for the product recommendation, as we saw in the previous table over here. This is incredible piece of information that is simply impossible for a human to do. Then we have the classify the business profile, where once again we give it a role. We tell it, you have expertise in these modalities, development stages, and your job is to analyze biotech companies across 4 dimensions. So we're giving it criteria, guys. So this is just really into the inner weeds of how every company's sales cycle, their processes differ. And this is something that, if you were to implement this for your clients, let's say you're like downloading the template and you want to implement this for your client, you would simply have to have a conversation. You would have to, you'd really have to understand what they're looking for. This has to be a bit of a collaborative process on the front end. But once it is done, then of course you can go implement these prompts on the back end and the system will be up and running. Where once in a while, you can make tweaks, improve it as you get feedback back from the market when you're prospecting. Where finally, guys, then what we have is we have another Perplexity prompt where, as you can see, we're analyzing the funding and the territory. If you remember, I told you about the funding, right? We're matching specific account executives in the signature and the email sending in the description. So you can take a look at this prompt. It is relatively simple, I would say. And then, guys, what we're doing is we're simply formatting and cleaning up the funding information that we got from Perplexity in the previous module, and then we update it in Airtable. This is just a couple of checks going in the backend, as you can see. Right, what we're doing is we're really just checking if, the new companies or is it a new contact and whatnot. And on a high level, guys, we've even made this Airtable base, which you guys, I'm going to share it in the Notion document. So if you know the way we typically share our systems is that we create a Notion document over here. So you guys can find this in the description. If you want the exact workflow over here, you can see. And I'm going to also attach a link to this Notion document. So you can duplicate this for yourself and you can, plug this straight into the end-to-end workflow, have fun with it, download it, create it for yourself. You can see that it is very similar to what we have ourselves: primary modality, secondary modality, confidence matching, company size, the funding status, the therapeutic focus. This is the exact outputs we got out of this system itself when we ran it. We have the manufacturing signals as well. And as you can see, when you come to contacts, then you can simply have these as linked records over to those people in the company, where you can right click into this, you can add lookup fields, and there you go. If you come into this, you have primary modality, secondary modality, the funding size, company status, the territory. And yes, there we go. We have all these pieces of information. So now, if you want, for instance, based on the specific location, you want to be doing prospecting, you can take care of that because now you have the exact territory. So all you can do is make an Airtable formula. So, if they're in this, if they're in central US or Canada, it will be routed to one specific email address and signature, something along those lines. You can also add the product matching, right? All you would really have to do is get on call with your clients, understand how exactly their sales cycle works, and you really have to define the logical criteria that you can inject into AI and basically create this really rich knowledge base about how should the AI go about recommending different products based on all the different meta fields that we got over here. Where if we come back, all of this information we have over here, guys. Rich information. I cannot emphasize how valuable it is. Primary modality, secondary modality, the development stage, the company size. And this is just for this client, like I said. This can be applied to any vertical, any niche. It could be applied for manufacturing companies. It could be applied for SaaS companies. We've applied it for quite a different couple of businesses. So yeah, this is how the workflow works, and I would definitely recommend taking a look at it in the Notion document and having some fun with it. So this is how you transform service complexity into systematic competitive advantage. While your competitors' sales operations and cycles are operating and at institutional knowledge and manual qualification, your team is now armed, weaponized with AI-powered business intelligence that maps solutions to actual business operations and requirements. If you're interested in working exclusively with me and my business to architect and create such systems and solutions leveraging AI for your business, there's a link in the description to qualify and book in a call. And I'll be super frank, we only partner with serious business owners who understand that competitive advantage comes from operational superiority, not incremental improvements, not one-time fixes, downloading random workflows, or having shiny object syndrome. It's as simple as that. Whereas if you're an AI enthusiast, you can also find a link in the description to grab the exact end-to-end flow. And I would definitely recommend, play around with it, understand the actual business use case and implement it for yourself, for your clients, outreach, create content with it. It is something that we've been seeing incredible results, one of our favorite systems, not just ours, our own clients, and something that is really obviously drives incredible business value. Don't forget to like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe. If you guys do have any questions, let me know in the comment section and I'll be sure to reply.